India Energy Week 2026. Manisha did speak to Hitachi Energy's Venu on energy transition, the role of AI and more. Listen in to a slice.
AI, especially, data center. Data center is all about, it's like a factory, right? The input is energy and output is AI. So the more AI means more energy is required in that. And we power the data centers. And the critical challenge for this is to ensure that the supply chains are really created here. And then we need to have robust supply chains for powering these data centers in that.
Yeah. So how are you as a company adopting to all of this infrastructure needs?
Absolutely. Again, we have seen this coming in much ahead of the curve, and we started investing it. And we announced in 2 years before in our 75-year celebration that we are spending 2,000 crores in the next 3 to 4 years in augmenting our capacities, in putting in greenfield factories and also brownfield factories. And we are really super excited about this demand, and then we are taking care of those things in that.
So there are a lot of targets with companies and countries as well. But with 2030 sustainability target, where are you right now as a company? And do you see any hurdles getting there?
I think when it comes to the 2030, Hitachi Energy has our own sustainable targets. And we want to be carbon neutral in all our operations by 2030. We had our first milestone, that is that all of our factories and the project officers should be fed through the renewable power. We achieved 1 year ahead of the curve, and now we are doing the rest of the things. In my view, I think we are well ahead of the curve to reach our targets by 2030. And similarly, we are not only in our own operation, we are helping our customers, we are helping our other partners to ensure that they also reach these sustainable targets.
But are there any hurdles there on the way?
Of course, it's not easy task, but it's definitely a lot of hurdles, especially in the MSME sector, everything. When you're talking about our own sustainable targets, we need our partners also need to come up with that.
Yeah.
And that's where is a challenge. So we are working with our ecosystem to ensure that they also come up on that.
I was reading somewhere that Hitachi is approaching or adopting to program-based rather than project-based.
Yeah.
How is that working for you?
As I said, the demand arising out of these new forms of the load, for example, the data center. For a data center, you need at least a minimum 6 to 8 times more energy required compared to the conventional thing in that. So with this kind of demand, it's not possible to predict the load. You need to have, much better vision, at least, a minimum 5 to 10 years in that. And then you need to move instead of, every project-based approach to a program-based approach. A program-based approach will take you much longer view, longer vision, so you can plan better, you can invest better, so you are able to also take care of the whole ecosystems end to end in that. So that's what we are really articulating with all the policymakers, etc. Move from project-based approach to a program-based approach.
How does India look to you in sense of growth going forward, and these various FTAs and BTAs India is doing? How does that impact you?
India has a scale. Okay, India is offering a scale. I give you 2, 3 examples of that, especially on the energy sector. It has a 500 gigawatt of a renewable target by 2030, and I've just saw the press release of the MOP that they had another 100 gigawatt of the pump storage target. All these things adding a huge amount of opportunities for a company like us, and then we are super excited, and that's the reason we are investing in terms of the people, investing in terms of our capacities, and we are bringing the technologies and localizing those technologies so that we are also complying in a Make in India, and all those things will add a lot of opportunities for all of us.
One final question, and what policies would you require to get to on where you've started on?
I think one of the things where we are really looking forward is to continue the policies and then add a little bit more on that, because energy transition has been recognized as one of the key elements in the progress of any country.
And it's a long-term thing.
It's a long-term thing, and then we need to have those kind of things kicking in terms of whether it is policies of adding the incentives or ensuring that bottlenecks removed. All those are regulatory things. We are looking forward to that.
What's your sense also on the macro dynamics right now, because that also seems to be troubled waters?
I think India, it is. But India, I would say, in the troubled waters, India is so far looking good. Okay. I would say, you see the GDP growth is really good, and all the indicators are showing the growth, whether it is industrial growth, whether the energy consumption. In my view, I think the challenges could be ironed out over a period of time. If you're talking about whether it is a trade deal with the US and other things, I'm sure it'll happen over a period of time. But right now, at least our business standpoint, all indicators are looking in the right direction.
Okay, an interesting chat there with Hitachi Energy. But on that note, we're going to slip into a very short break. And on the other side of the break, we'll come back with our What's Trending segment. We'll focus on expectations from the tax front as the government gears up for the upcoming budget on 1st of February.